Good morning. Happy Friday to all my sports nuts. Uh, Yesterday was a great day of sports, even TNA. But first, got some announcements and important dates to run by with y'all before we get to Major League Baseball and NFL, and also some TNA action. Um, WWE announces the upcoming return of wrestler Kirk Hawkins on SmackDown Live. Um, the company announced that Carmella, Naomi, Becky Lynch will team up to face Natalya and Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. We just got a confirmation that WWE, Eva Maria, was just suspended for violating the wellness policy yesterday, so that takes her out of match at SummerSlam. Um, Remember that this is actually the third wrestler to be suspended this week on the wellness policy of the WWE. Um, WWE has a lot of bad reps so far this month and last month over that wellness policy. So we don't know what's going to happen next. But I know Alvaro Del Rio and Paige was also suspended. Remember, Total Divas premieres on Wednesday, October the 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the cast underneath under one roof. And will Nikki return to the ring? Remember, SummerSlam is this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch that on the WWE Network, or you can order it on the pay-per-view for a whole heck of a lot of money. Also, Mick Foley, the GM of WWE Raw, has confirmed that Jon Stewart will be returning. We don't know what his exact role, but this is only the returning at SummerSlam, so we don't know what's going to happen. So let's talk about WWE real fast before we get to the Major League Baseball and NFL. The Beast versus the Viper. That's 15 years of the making. A very important matchup, and I believe that the Viper will take the win, but we just don't know. The Universal Championship match, Lawler versus Rollins. I believe that, again, it's a very hard matchup to call, but I believe Lawler will take up with the win. World Championship match, Dean Ambrose versus Ziggler. Great match. Can't wait for that. I believe Ambrose will go home with the win. Cena versus AJ Styles. The Phenomenal One looks to prove his time is now, but will he succeed against the C Nation leader, John Cena, on this awesome matchup? I don't think AJ Styles will win. There's no way. He's been winning a lot of other matches with John Cena. They play well in the ring. They actually do have great matches, but I believe that John Cena will go home with the win. U.S. Championship match, Rusev versus Roman Reigns. I believe that Rusev will lose this one because himself and his new wife has not at all went on their honeymoon. So it's time that Rusev go ahead and give up the belt to Roman Reigns so Rusev can go to his honeymoon. It's going to be a good matchup because of the WWE Women's Championship match. Banks versus Charlotte. Remember, Dana Brooks will be banned from ringside during the whole match. I believe Banks will win this match. Tag team action is going to happen. For the championship. I don't like the new gimmick of Gallows and Anderson being a doctor. I just don't get it. However, I believe that the New Day will go home with the win. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Jericho and Owens. In other words, the Canadian brothers. This match will be awesome. Canadians versus Americans. I believe that Enzo and Big Cass will win this one, no doubt about it. But remember, there is 2 pay-per-views being scheduled to be in Canada later on this year. Intercontinental Championship, Miz versus Apollo Crews. That's going to be a good matchup. I believe Apollo Crews will win because Miz been holding on to that belt wherever. The best of the 7th Series opener, Cesaro versus Sheamus. We just don't know who's going to win. I believe that Cesaro will win this one. Most doubt. He's going to win it. He's ready. The 6 women tag team match is a question. Now they have to replace Eva Maria because she is now suspended with somebody else. We don't know who. Could it be Nikki Bella? Because that's a good question now. They have to replace her. So it's Carmella, Becky Lynch, Naomi versus Natalya, Alexa Bliss with a question mark who will be replacing Eva Marie if that match is still going on. In TNA, remember October the 2nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Bound for Glory. However, last night was a heck of a show on Pop TV. We know that and we like it. The first matchup, Eddie Edwards versus Moose with Mike Bennett. Moose won by pinfall. Second match, Jade versus Gail Kim. Barrett comes out to the stage and says that Kim is a failure and will never get another opportunity at the Knockout Championship. However, Gail Kim won by disqualification. The third match, DJ Zimmer Iron versus Rockstar Spud versus Mandrews versus Baxton Salter. DJ won. DJ Zimmer on won. Fourth matchup, Ella Drake versus Mozart. Ella won that matchup. The final match, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero versus the Turbo versus the Holmes Dynasty versus the Bronze Man in a fatal 4-way tag team ladder match to determine the number 1 contender to the TNA World Tag Team Championship. Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero won that matchup. Very important date to remember for Lucha Underground. Season 3 premieres September 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on El Rey Network only. Doesn't come on other channels no matter what other people has to say. Let's talk about the Major League Baseball. Great games up. Very good games last night. All throughout yesterday, really. And Red Sox versus the Tigers. I was hoping the Red Sox would win this one, but they didn't. The Tigers went home with the win for the 3 versus the Cubs. Tell you what, that was a good game. However, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. Cubs went home with a win, 9-6. Orioles versus the Astros. Davis and Hardy each built 2 home runs for the Orioles. Orioles went home with a win, 13-5. Phillies versus the Dodgers. Great lineup, ladies and gentlemen. But Phillies went home with a win, 5-4. Indians versus the White Sox. Indians went home, no doubt about it. Great game, 5-4. Good job, Indians. I was hoping that the Nationals would win this one. Oh wait, they did, 8-2 against the Braves. Reds versus the Marlins. Good lineup there. Both teams worked very hard on this game. And tell you what, the Reds won this one fair and square. And the final score, 8-4. Twins versus the Royals with great lineup. Gordon Belt's the grand slam for the Royals. Final score, 8-1. The Angels finally won a game. Final score against the Mariners, 6-4. Padres versus Diamondbacks. Final score: Padres 9, Diamondbacks 8. Giants versus the Mets. Great game, 10-7. Today's lineup. Gotta need to listen up on this one. It's gonna be some good games. If my computer doesn't cave in to a stupid moment. Marlins versus the Pirates. I believe that the Marlins will come out with a win, but it's pitcher versus pitcher. Cole versus Kohler. We just don't know who's going to win. Orioles going to be facing off with the great ones, the Houston Astros. The pitchers will be facing off each other. Maku versus Mahle. I believe that Astros might come out with a win. Phillies versus the Cardinals, great game. Pitchers facing off each other. Logan versus Wainwright. Then we have the Blue Jays versus the Indians. It's going to be a good game. But however, I think the Blue Jays will come out with a win fair and square because the pitchers facing off each other is Ruller and Loreno. Sorry for destroying your name. Red Sox versus the Tigers. I believe that the Tigers might win this one, but however, the Red Sox will definitely win it. Pitchers facing off each other. Fulmer versus Porcello. Norris versus Otterman on this next game. Dodgers versus the Reds. I believe that the Reds will come out with a win, fair and square, without cheating. Texas Rangers versus the Rays. Cardinals versus Andres. Let's talk about the National versus Braves games. I believe the Nationals might come out with a win on this one. Pitchers facing off each other is Work versus Turner. Sorry for destroying your little name there. Athletes versus the White Sox. I believe that White Sox will come out with a win. However, the pitchers facing off each other is Shields versus Graveman. Twins versus the Royals later on this evening. Tell you what, those pitchers will be facing off again. But Volquez versus Berrios. Cubs versus the Rockies tonight. Also, Hendricks versus Anderson as pitchers. I believe that the Rockies will come out with a win. However, I'm looking at these darn Angels and Yankees game. I don't think the Angels will come out with a win on this one. But however, I just don't know. This is a robbery game. The pitchers on the mound be competing with each other. Weaver versus Tanka. Sorry for destroying your name, sir. Alrighty, here's a great lineup for you. Brewers versus the Mariners. Soto versus LeFlanc has pitchers. This game is actually a robbery game, a very important game to watch at 10:15 p.m. on SNY. Lugo versus Shuto. Sorry for destroying your name, sir. Mets versus the Giants. Those two pitchers will be 101 competing with each other. I always love watching the Diamondbacks and Padres going against each other. I'm not going to stay up late to watch this game. I believe that the Padres will win this one because of the scoring coming in is 128 and Diamondbacks is minus 1.5. Franke versus Konzarg as pitchers. That is a very important game to watch. But however, Padres might come out with a win fair and square. Going over to the NFL scoreboard now. Great games yesterday. However, better games today. Don't know what's going to happen today, but you just never know. We don't know what's going on with the Steelers. The Steelers majorly lost yesterday. The final score, Eagles versus the Steelers, 17-0. I did call that game fair and square. I think I said the Eagles will win after review yesterday's tape. If I did, I was right. Bengals versus the Lions, great game. The Bengals came out with a win and went home 30-14. We don't know what happened to the Raiders yesterday. Also, we was paying attention in that game, but however, the Packers went home with a win. Final score 20-12. We did call this game fair and square, ladies and gentlemen. 23-22 final score. Patriots versus the Bears. The Bears didn't look too good last night. However, again, the Patriots went home with a win, 23-22. It was a good, close game. All the calls were fair. I believe the officials did a great job calling it down in the middle. The Falcons versus the Browns, great game. I called that game also. I remember I said that the Falcons would come out with a win. The final score was 24-13. Falcons versus the Seahawks. The Falcons actually won this game. 18-11 is the final score. Today's game, I'm really going to be watching the scoreboard on this game. Games coming up. But it's very hard to call these games as it is because they're nothing but rivalry games today. Jets versus the Redskins, very important game. They always had a rivalry every single preseason. The Redskins deserve to win this one because the NFL was trying to make them change their name. I believe that the Redskins will come out with a win. However, I'm looking at the Dolphins and Cowboys games also. That's a rivalry game. Dolphins might come out with a win. Both sides of the team on the Dolphins, offense and defense, is looking strong this year. However, I think the Cowboys is strong in the defense also. Rumors had it that they practiced pretty hard over the week. Cardinals versus the Chargers. I believe that the Cardinals would win this one fair and square. That is a rivalry game. Happens every preseason. However, the Panthers versus the Titans. Panthers will come out with a win, most definitely. They are very strong this season in offense, but the Titans is looking very strong on both offense and defense. Giants versus the Bills. I believe that the Giants might take a loss, but we don't know. They have been practicing pretty hard this week. They did rumors have it they have a new play they might play out tonight. You can catch it on the NFL Network. Again, that's Giants versus the Bills. I believe that the Giants will win this one, most definitely. Both Giants and Bills has a loss already underneath the belt. The game starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ravens versus the Colts, very important game. As a rivalry game, happens on Saturday, only on the NFL Network at 7 p.m. Now, just to tell you, I mentioned two games already for Saturday: Panthers versus Titans, the Giants versus the Bills. I do not want to run the rest of it for you. Oh, what the heck! Buccaneers versus the Jaguars. I believe that the Buccaneers actually win. Saints versus the Texans. The Saints has no wins and one loss. Texans has one win and one loss. Scores don't matter in preseason, but I believe the Texans on both offense and defense is very, very strong this season. The Saints is lacking on offense at this time. Rumors had it that they had a lot of practice on the offensive skills, so we don't know what's going to happen on this game. But I believe that the Texans will win this one fair and square. Remember, the quarterback, one of the quarterbacks of the 49ers, is on injury for a little bit, but he might return next week if he's okay. However, if he's okay now, because he threw out his arm, or if he's okay now, he might play on Saturday. 49ers versus the Broncos. I don't know who's going to win. Broncos has one win underneath their belt. 49ers has one loss. I believe the 49ers will actually come out with a win. But the Broncos are looking good this season. Both sides, offense and defense. 49ers is liking on defense, but they had a lot of practice on that over the week. Chiefs versus the Rams, very important game. Remember, this is a Robert game. Rams will actually come out with a win, I hope. So, what do you think? Very important game. High school football for our area, very important. How you listen to this, we'll be broadcasting some of the games live on audio only. But however, if the weather is bad, we will not attend any games because of our equipment. We don't want it to spark. Very important that we take care of our equipment. We're not rich like the other stations. Volleyball action, Waverly at Tawonga. It's a scrimmage. Happens at 5 p.m. Volleyball action, Waverly versus, well, first of all, Wednesday the 24th, that's the Tawonga game versus Waverly for the volleyball, 5 p.m. On Friday the 26th, volleyball action, Waverly versus Sierra, 4:30 p.m. However, the first game that we're looking at, JV football, it's going to be a home game. It's going to happen on Saturday, on the 3rd of September. Waverly will be facing Horseheads at the stadium. The varsity football, it's going to be at Horseheads on Saturday, so we got a good lineup this year. I don't want to spoil any spoilers on that one. Like always, you can catch us live on the games when it comes to high school football, and can't wait till we broadcast live. Well, that's it for now. I promise you we'll be back with more scores here as soon as we can. But until then, you gotta come back for more. But that's it for me. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next live show of CWN Sports. And please like us and share us and subscribe to us. Listen to our podcast, subscribe to that too. And also send us a donation if you like what you hear. Go to extremechristianradio.com and click on the donation tab and send us a little bit of love in there, and all the proceeds go to get better equipment. Alrighty, talk to y'all later on CWN Sports.